Hey everybody, it's Eric Norton. I'm back with Matt Bible, and we got a pretty cool exclusive box of cards here called Outcast from a Robert Kirkman series that's currently airing on Cinemax. But this is exclusive to the San Diego Comic-Con, right?
It's not exclusive. It's just it's been released at Comic-Con.
Okay, I see. All right.
It's by a company called Sidekick Lab. You can check them out, sidekicklab.com. And it looks like it's in conjunction with Skybound, which is a Robert Kirkman company.
Awesome.
But if anybody knows anything about Robert Kirkman, they know that he's the mastermind behind the comic series The Walking Dead, and eventually the TV series The Walking Dead, Fear of the Walking Dead. It looks like the front we got box toppers, and underneath will be the packs. This is based on this is another TV show based on a comic book by Kirkman, and it airs on Cinemax on Friday nights. Actually, I think it just premiered not too long ago, like June. I think in June. And basically, it's kind of like Preacher and the new Exorcist series is coming out. It's basically about a guy whose name's Kyle Barnes. And his whole life has been plagued by demonic possession. His mom was possessed by a demon when he was a child. She abused him, and then his wife ends up being possessed by a demon. He lives in this town that's like hounded by demonic possession, and basically he joins forces with this preacher to figure out why all these people are possessed, and to help exorcise them. And it sounds like it's a really crazy, intense show. It's on Cinemax, so they really essentially have no limits. It's probably about like Game of Thrones and True Blood. You can pretty much do whatever you want. So
sit down tonight and watch with the kids, guys. Let's get into the break.
Let's get cracking. Crack-a-lack.
All right, here we go. Now, you said that these are going for a pretty price out of the con.
I've seen them listed on the secondary market for about $150, $160 a box.
Wow.
So
nice full color photos.
I like it. Let me find a really good one here.
There's something. There's creepy.
It's got insert cards in it.
Path to the Beast. There's nothing creepier than a stairwell, an empty, dark stairwell, right? Maybe some little girl.
Yeah, I've been down many an empty, dark stairwell as a kid, and it's. Of course, you see it's got the black and I'm assuming blood red border, the sign of power, and the guy's holding the crucifix. Let's look at the backs. Yeah, it looks like the back is going to form a puzzle. It looks like it's done in the vintage style of Topps cards.
Yeah. From
the 70s and 80s, which is really kind of cool. It's always cool to go retro with a new product or with things like this. And here's this mirrors the box topper. I'm guessing it's an insert, and I'm guessing Allison Barnes, maybe his wife.
Yes,
because I haven't obviously watched the show. We'll take a look at the back here. It looks like it. Yeah, Kyle's ex-wife. From what I understand, she was possessed by a demon too, and in the middle of exorcising her, he damaged her psychologically, and she left him or whatever. But it sounds intense. Something else too. Look at the wrapper. The wrapper's definitely got that, like we just said with Topps. It's got that very retro, vintage style, and it is a wax pack, so it has that same feel.
Sure.
But no gum.
Also, I want to point something else out. The plug is actually on the back of the stack of cards, but it does a lot for protection as well. That's really, really good how they did that. I dig that a lot.
I like how they packaged these.
Yes.
And there is an insert of Kyle himself. So it looks like we got at least one insert set in here, kind of like a profile set maybe. Here's kind of a scary thing, restrained, as they do with all people who are possessed by demons. They got them in the the straps, and they're shackled to a bed, and it kind of reminds me of American Horror Story Asylum, where they got the kid in the bed, and
young Kyle Barnes. So there's a backstory there, obviously, about his life as a child.
Yes,
which is surely going to explain a lot in the show.
So this was, meant to, it looks like here's another, Megan Holter, child psychologist. Something I've noticed right away too about the scenery in this show is it's very drab.
Yes.
There's hardly any light. I mean, look at all this imagery. You've got, it's just very dark and drab and gothic, and you even if you don't know what the show's about, if you start reading the backs of the profiles or whatever, the inserts, and you start looking at the imagery, you can kind of get an idea just by looking at the imagery.
Here's a face of evil, and oddly enough, it's not Donald Trump or Hillary Clinton.
We just lost, 10 viewers?
10 viewers.
10 viewers
Turn
on
it off
Instagram.
Right now.
They just deleted us. There's Reverend Anderson. There's the man that compels the power of Christ on the demons. So that's the dude he hangs out with and he gets together with to
figure it out.
To figure it all out and to get everything.
This is kind of just creepy looking from the photography, man. It's just, wow.
And here's one of him. It looks like he's visiting. It says visiting the fallen, and obviously the fallen. That's the title of a card, but it's a double entendre. Because if anybody knows anything about the Old Testament, and the fallen is very symbolic of the whole theme of the show. But the woman is just laying there in bed with her eyes open. It kind of reminds me of The Exorcism of Emily Rose.
Yes.
Where she's just laying there with her eyes open, and then all of a sudden she just screams.
Here's tending the garden. I've passed by this a couple of times, but I'm starting to wonder what's going on in the garden there. What is she? She's got a wheelbarrow full of something. Maybe some shenanigans are in play.
That's a very, and that's another key word, tending the garden.
Yeah.
This is these. I like whoever wrote these titles did a pretty good job because they're referencing a lot of biblical elements and biblical symbols, and that's really smart. The face of evil. I wonder what this dude is. If I'm guessing he's a prominent figure in the town, maybe, or.
I just pulled that same one.
Here's something that's kind of interesting. I kind of like this card because if you look at if you look at the look on his face, you can see just the sheer exhaustion on his face.
Sure.
He's pale. His eyes look like they're bloodshot. He just has this look of just complete and total, almost defeat, if you want to call it that. But it's more like just complete and total, business as usual, I guess.
That card actually scared me because I hate going shopping. So it's one of my least favorite things to do. Oh, also something very creepy. Little statues and miniature figures. The Reverend's trophies. Those things creep me out, man. I don't want anything to do with those.
It's kind of like, what is it, like?
Just like a little miniature,
dolls? Yeah. Like, are we talking like Annabelle from The Conjuring, or?
Little statues, little. But Annabelle from The Conjuring.
I'm going to save that one for last. I think that's, unless you've shown it already, but I'm going to save it for last just to show it because I think it sums up the whole show.
Sure.
Even though I haven't even seen it, I think just looking at that card kind of really gives you a very grim perspective as to what this show is. and probably where they're going with it. There's another one. I just got the doll card. I know what you're talking about.
You see that?
Yeah,
it's creepy, isn't it?
Fishing. There's a little boy fishing. Here's one called A Brutal End. And that one's a kind of bit gory, but I think it's significant because it shows that this. And I don't know if I should show this one or not. That's. I'll go ahead and take the chance of showing it, but.
Is it Donald Trump?
No.
Oh,
no.
okay.
Well, unless he's a kid. Obviously, we don't advocate any type of child abuse of any kind, but it looks like I'm just going to take a guess that the kid's possessed by a demon, and he's literally beating the demon out of the kid. That's
never easy. That's never easy.
That's crazy. That's insanity, but.
So
it goes to show you where they're willing to go with this show, and
here's the Holy Alliance,
where they're going to take it. This guy, I've seen this guy in movies. I just can't think of his name. I think he was
It's Jake from State Farm.
He was the dude in. I think he was in the Fantastic Four reboot, which probably explains why he has that grim look on his face. So he's still suffering from that.
All right, final pack.
Yep, we got. You know what's interesting? I've noticed with the collation in this.
What's that?
We've done these retro breaks and we've done these other breaks where some cards get kind of repetitive. Ooh, I got a hit.
Did you?
I got a printing plate.
Wow. Very cool. Let's end on that. Let me show one and you end on that, okay? This is creepy as all creepy can be. It's called Duel. And this little boy is being contorted as he is obviously possessed. And somebody's being compelled by the power of Christ. And Matt got a printing plate. So Matt, what do you got, babe?
Well, getting back to my point is, like, these... There's repetition, but it's not as consistent as it is with other products.
Sure.
You run across a new card every time you go into a new pack. And this is a printing plate called Beyond Saving.
I've seen that a couple times.
Looking in to her eyes and her mouth to check her out. And that's pretty cool that we got printing plates in a box of like an independently produced product.
I'm gonna flip that over. I want to see what the back looks like. Oh, very nice. It's printed directly on the card.
Yep.
It's not a sticker.
That's
very cool.
Really cool. And it's got that kind of a neon greenish yellowish.
Sure.
So it kind of stands out. So
awesome.
That is what we got in this box. I'm really impressed with the quality of it, kind of the retro feel to it. The way it's put into wax packs. Not fat packs this time.
Not fat packs.
But it's really a unique product, and it's kind of highlighting a show that not many people know about.
Sure.
But
it definitely made me want to go check it out.
It definitely does its job, I think. Here's
Yeah.
a couple of more of those inserts, and then here's the one card I was talking about. We'll end on this. Plagued by Demons. You can just look. You can see in his face, man, just how worn out he is, and it's almost like there's no hope in his mind. So it's like, it kind of sets the tone for the show, I think.
It's kind of like us waiting on help desk, right?
Yeah. It makes you root for him, but you're just like, well,
It actually, he looks to me a little bit like, was it Christian Bale that was in The Mechanic? Kind of just overran like that. That's what it kind of looks like.
Overwhelmed and just really, you could tell he's been conditioned to demonic possession.
Yes. So it doesn't look like it's anything new to him.
But
which is a problem, probably.
These are exclusive to Comic-Con. Comic-Con's running all weekend in San Diego, and obviously there's going to be a lot of promotional stuff and a lot of things going on, but these were exclusively released at Comic-Con, and I'm just sure you'll be able to get them, after that as well. But they're by Sidekick Lab, and so be on the lookout for these.
Yeah, check them out.
Pretty good.
This was a lot of fun, although it was a darker topic.
A little darker, yeah.
But it was full. It was cool to go through the set and just kind of see what's going on in the show. I'm definitely gonna check the show out now on Cinemax. So, guys, that's what we think. Why don't you tell us what you think down below? Until next time, just keep ripping.